What's up everybody? Welcome back to another one of my videos, and in this video we're going over MyLeague. So this is going to be 8-week matchups and we're going to go over what happened in week 7. So first up we're going to go over those week 7 results. First up, my matchup against Mark, I lost 5-4, so it was fairly closer than it looks, as the results look. Could have gone either way in threes. At one point the free throw percentage in the final day was within 1%. So my team didn't miss a free throw in the final day. Defensive categories, I knew I didn't stand a chance. I started off well, but didn't finish well at all. And it came down to points really for me, because even though I lost by 15 points, what ended up happening to me was now I know he had some postponed games. I had some injuries, so things could have been different had all our guys played, but they didn't. And what it ended up coming down to was on Saturday, D'Angelo Russell decided he wasn't going to play, and I had Garland on the bench because my roster was otherwise full. I didn't notice it, and Garland put up 17 points, the exact amount I needed to have won this matchup. So it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I still won 4 categories. So I mean, it sucks, but Mark's team, he picked up 2 great waiver wire pickups in Norman Powell and Gary Trent, and they turned out to be his best players this week. They both killed it. They really did. So kudos to Mark for that. All right, so next up we have is the Dame Show defeating St. Clair Saints 6-2-1. So it appears that this matchup came down to just blocks. It looks like. Now I looked at I should say I looked at all the matchups, but I mean this one kind of stood out because right from the get-go Rick was up like 6-3, 7-2 from Monday to Sunday. It was like that all week, so there was no real competition this week, and I noticed Adam didn't set his roster for a couple of days, so it looks like he's giving up and he's in last place, and now he's even further down there, so I don't think he's going to be playing anymore, unfortunately. But as for this matchup, Rick could have gone 7-2. That would have been huge for him. Even still, 6-2-1, still great. Puts him well over, well, not well over 500, but it puts him over 500 and second in the odds division. So very good news for him. All right. Excuse me. All right. So next matchup was probably our matchup of the week, and it was Meta World. Well, was this the matchup of the week? It could have been. I mean, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Excuse me. Oh my God. All right. So Meta World Peace versus All Great Ones was matchup of the week. Meta World Peace 1-6-2-1. This is huge because All Great Ones was second in the odds division. Now they dropped to third, under 500. And this is really good for Meta World Peace because he stays, I think he's a half game. Let's see, I think he's a half a game behind first place in his division. Anyway, for the matchup itself, it looked like it came down to assist, steals, and that's it. So assist and steals, it could have gone either way. Meta World Peace could have actually won 8-1. He legit could have won 8-1 if everything fell his way. He was just 2 assists off from winning assists and 1 steal off from winning steals. So that, I think that would sting a little bit if that were me. In any case, I really do think Jason's team is really good in rebounds and assists, and probably even fairly good in steals, like very competitive in steals, but everything else is a wash to me. I do feel like he should be looking into making some trades, which we're going to get into in a minute, and I just don't understand why he's not. All right, so the next matchup is Team Stewart defeated Team Seeker 6-3, and it came down to free throw percentage was very close, rebounds were very close, and it appears that's it. So let's see, Seeker 1 free throws, Stewart 1 rebounds. Okay, so at the very worst, Stewart would have won 5-4. He could have won 7-2 had he made a couple extra free throws or had not missed a couple extra free throws. But still, 6-3 is a great win, and it keeps him in first place in his division, while even though Sieper falls to last place in the evens division, he's only 30 and 33. That's still pretty damn good, which is the same exact record as Badonkadonk, which is the team that lost in our next matchup. And the team that won, Team Best, is a half game behind them. So that's so freaking close. But anyway, Team Best defeated Badonkadonk 5-4, as it looks like maybe turnovers could have gone the other way. I don't know. It looks like it was pretty much a one. I don't know what happened in this matchup, but it does look like um, just looks like everything was completed. Maybe field goal percentage, actually. Field goal percentage may have gone either way, but probably best one in the last day. But anyway, let's talk about the standings. So in the odds division, I'm still in first place, just barely, as I lost 4-5 last week. Rick had a big 6-2-1 victory over St. Clair Saints, so he picks up substantial ground on me. He's only a game and a half behind, and he's finally above 500, which is something I'm fully expecting. I do fully expect him to be the favorite heading into just winning the division. So I will not be surprised if he wins the division. I do think it will be coming down to my team and Rick's team in the odds division. As I just said, Jason's team, it's very good in a couple of categories, but it's not well-rounded enough to win the division. Team Best, he's just been struggling for whatever reason, has great solid individual players, a lot of point guards that are solid. Not quite sure what's going on with his team. I think he doesn't have any bigs. I think he has one decent big in Balajunas, and that's pretty much it. And then St. Clair Saints, I think he gave up. I mean, his record is at 39% win percentage. He's 9.5 games out of first place, and he's in 10th place overall in the standings. So not a great performance for Adam in his first year. All right, so with the evens division, Team Stewart had a big 6-3 victory over Team Zebra last week, maintaining a solid division lead, as Meta World Peace had a solid victory last week as well. I think it was 6-3 as well, but regardless, he's 2 games behind Team Stewart, so it could go either way with either one of those guys. And then Team Mark, Badonkadonk, and Team Seeper all at 30 and 33, all just 3 games under 500. So what makes that very interesting is, let's see, Team Best in the odds division, Team Best and St. Clair Saints are 9 and 10. Then you have just a half a game in front, Team Mark, Team Badonkadonk, and Team Stewart. So that's 6, 7, and 8, the 6, 7, and 8 seeds. And then just another half game in front of them is All Great Ones, who was just in second place, over 500, killing it. And now he finally fell below 500, and he's in 5th place. He's got the 5th seed, I should say. So between Best at the 9 and All Great Ones at the 5 seed, 5 to 9 is literally one game. One game separates them, which is crazy. That is super close. One of these teams won't make the playoffs, and we're almost halfway through the season, so we have a long way to go, but still, it's very interesting to see. And the way I think this is going to continue to go is the Dame Show is going to pick up traction. He's going to get a lot more wins. He had a lot of tough breaks earlier in the season, but he made a big trade, helped his team set up substantially. And now I do think he's the favorite in the odds division. I do think I will maintain second place if my team ever gets healthy. We have more injuries, but more on that later. And then Team Stewart, all his team does is win every week, it seems like. And then Meta World Peace, same thing with him. I thought he would have fallen off a little bit, but he still has yet to fall off of any. So unless Mark's team, Seeper's team, or Badonkadunk's team gets hot, I do think this is going to be the way the standings are going to be, which I wouldn't be surprised if any of those teams got hot, especially Team Seeper. If team gets healthy with Carl Anthony Towns and KD, if his team gets hot, I do expect them to make a push all the way to the top. All right, so next up, we're going to talk about the trade block. So we do have a trade in MyLeague. On Sunday, Skylar and I made a trade. So I acquired Jason Tatum, and Skylar acquires Devin Booker and Harrison Barnes. So as for the trade block itself, Skyler is still looking to add at the point guard position, as well as Jose is also looking to add at the point guard position. He told me SGA is a nice point guard, but he would like to get an upgrade at the point guard position. Now, Best is still looking to trade Kyrie, so maybe Skyler and Jose would be interested in Kyrie, or even Kobe White, who's been struggling as of late. And I know he was trying to trade Al Horford at one time, and now that Horford has been playing really well, it may be in best interest to trade Horford now. So he did tell me that he needs assists and steals, or that's what he was looking for a couple weeks ago. I don't think anything's changed. As for Seeper, he's still going to have an abundance of centers, so he will likely be dropping Mitchell Robinson, who we drafted in the 6th round. So I think that's a poor move on his part. I do think he should try and make a trade, send some offers out, what he would want for them. But anyway, unless he receives a decent offer for Mitchell Robinson, he will be dropping him, and he is also willing to trade Vukovic, but at a high price. And that's not surprising. Vukovic has been killing it this year, and I would expect nothing less than trying to get King's ransom for Vuk at this point. All right, as for Rick, he's waiting until his team gets healthy to figure out what to do. To figure out what his strengths and weaknesses are. Mike is good on his team right now. He's currently 30 and 33 in that group where between the 5 seed and 9 seed. So I think he's just trying to figure out if his team is just slightly better than everyone else's before he tries to figure out what he needs. All right, for me personally, I'm waiting to see what kind of team I have with Tatum now and without Barnes and Booker. And I will say I am still looking to trade Jaylen Brown. Now that I have Tatum, I don't want both on the same team. Maybe it'll be great to have both on the same team. I don't know. But I am open to hearing offers for Jaylen Brown if anyone's interested. And for Mark, he is unlikely seeking a trade as he's not much of a fantasy basketball owner. And as for Adam and Jason, I have no idea where they stand. Adam, I think he's done, and Jason never got back to me when I asked what's going on. But again, like I said earlier in the video, Jason needs to get on that. He needs to make some kind of trade. He's really good in assists. He's really good in rebounds. And competitive in steals, but everything else is just a wash. So unless he gets better in other categories, his team, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if his team doesn't make the playoffs if he doesn't make any moves. All right, guys, before I move on to the Week 8 matchups, remember to hit the like button if you like this content, and make sure you subscribe for more fantasy basketball content all season long. So our first Week 8 matchup is Rick versus Jose. Now, the matchup breakdown, Rick will be favored in free throw percentage, assist, and points, while Jose is favored in field goal percentage and rebounds. Could go either way in 3 steals, blocks, and turnovers. And see, I have nothing else really to say about either one of these teams, except this is the matchup of the week, by the way. That's the second thing I want to say. This matchup of the week, because these players are both in second place in their respective division. So any huge if either team goes 7-2 this week, that'll be huge for me or Skyler. As if someone goes 6-3, 7-2, they could take over first place in their division. And if the team that loses 2-7, it'll give either Skyler or I a huge lead in our division if that were to happen, if a 7-2 result were to happen. So that's what I'm hoping for in this. I'm rooting big time for Jose in this matchup, and Skyler should be rooting for Rick in that matchup as well. All right, so for our next matchup, we have Mike versus Adam, and it shouldn't be much of a competition as it looks like Adam checked out. He didn't set his team up for Monday's matchups. This kind of sucks, but can't do anything about it right now. So for the matchup breakdown, Mike should be favored in free throw percentage, threes, and points, while Adam should be favored in rebounds, steals, and blocks. It can go either way in field goal percentage, assists, and turnovers. So it should be an easy win for Mike, and he should at least get 6 categories, maybe even more. This should at least help him to get to the 500 level, at the very least. If Adam's not setting his lineup, I don't see why he can't. And maybe he gets lucky and takes both. Field goal percentages can go either way. All right, so yeah. Next matchup is Mark versus Best. Now Mark is sitting at 30 and 33, and Best is a half game behind. This is a huge matchup for both players because any 6-3, 7-2, 8-1, 9-0 result will help one of these teams substantially. As if Best wins big time, he will be in the playoffs now. He will be, just he will have gotten out of the ninth seed, is what I'm trying to say. And then if Mark loses big time, Mark will drop down to that ninth seed unless someone else has a worse result, which is going to, I don't think it's going to be likely. Anyway, for the matchup breakdown, Mark is favored in rebounds, steals, and blocks, while Best is favored in free throw percentage, threes, and assists. It can go either way in field goal percentage, turnovers, and points. For our next matchup, we have Seeper versus Jason. Now, Jason took a big L last week, and Seeper did too, actually. So this is a big matchup as Jason's the 5 seed. Seeper is like, I don't know, you could say the 7 seed. He's 30 and 33, so he's tied with Mark and Mike. So basically, a huge win either way will help either one of these teams. But let's just say Seeper wins 6-3, 7-2. Either of those, Jason will have gone from being one of 4 teams over 500 heading into last week's matchup to possibly the ninth seed. Just a matter of 2 weeks. That's how fast things can change in category leagues, and that's why I love playing 9-cats. That's what makes it so fun. Anyway, for the matchup breakdown itself, Seeper is going to be favored in free throw percentage and turnovers, while Jason should be favored in rebounds and assists, and it could go either way in field goal percentage, three-pointers, steals, blocks, and points. So this is a huge matchup. If Seeper can somehow find that huge win, pick up all the categories that can go either way, which will be very hard because now he has Carl Anthony Towns, Larry Nance, and Katie out for this week. So I don't know how he's going to do it, but if he can, if his team gets hot, that'll be a huge, huge win for Seeper. And for our last matchup is likely, well, to me, this is the matchup of the week as number 1 in odds division plays number 1 in the evens division. My team versus Skylar team. And it's kind of funny because we just made that Tatum for Booker and Barnes swap. So they're good to go. Booker killed me last night. I hate Booker. I officially hate Booker. It's whatever. So anyway, if you look at the teams, I just want to say really quick, I do have a blank spot on my team because after I made the 2-for-1, I was only left with 13 people. But when I made this, I didn't know who I was picking up. I picked up a couple people. I picked up Derrick Rose, and now Mark Cannon is on my IR. And I picked up Jacob Poletti. I don't know how to say his name, the center from San Antonio. It's really weird. It's Poetle, or Poeltl. I don't know. It's the LTL is messing me up. I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, for the matchup breakdown, I should be favored in 3-pointers, assists, and points, while Skylar should be favored in rebounds, steals, blocks, and turnovers. And it can go either way in percentages, either percentage, field goal percentage, or free throw percentage. So this is kind of interesting. We haven't had this yet, where all the whole number categories are favored one way or the other, but then the percentage categories can go either way. So it's really interesting. So this should be a fun matchup. I will say, again, my team did very well last night as Paletti and Porzingis finally showed up for me. But Skylar's team, Booker's team showed up for him, and Dylan Brooks showed up, had a big game for him as well. But his 2 waiver pickups didn't do much. So that's nice to see for once, because the last 3 weeks, I swear, every freaking waiver wire guy has been killing me for the most part. Last week it was Marco Trent Jr. and Norman Powell. Before that was Mike's team. I forget who it was, but I still remember Jose's team with Royce O'Neal, and that was 3 weeks ago. But anyways, so if this matchup goes either way, so it's really interesting this week because I'm playing Skylar, so we're both first in our respective divisions. So any big win is going to help out Rick or Jose. Now Rick and Jose are playing each other. They're both second in the division, and by the way, those are all 4 teams are the only teams above 500 right now. So it's kind of like these are the 4 best teams at this point in the season, and any huge win in any fashion will tremendously shape a certain division. Like if my team, let's say my team wins big and Rick's team wins big, well, then they're going to have Skylar and Jose's records are going to go down with Mark, Mike, and Seeper, and all those guys are going to combine. Like that division is going to be crazy if that happens. On the other hand, if my team and Rick's team loses big time, then I still think it would just be us two, and possibly Jason might be able to get back into it as Adam is in our division and he's probably not going to be a threat. And the last team is Seeper's team. No, not Seeper's team. It's Team Best. So if that could really tremendously help out Team Best. But on the other side, if my team wins big or loses big and Rick does the opposite of my team and vice versa, if Skylar does one thing, like if he wins big and Jose does the opposite, then there's going to be a huge gap in between first and second place in a certain division, and it'll give um, a huge leeway between first and second for the foreseeable future. So again, there's so many good matchups this week, so many matchups that can shape the outcome of the entire season this week. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching, and remember, make sure you hit the like button if you like this video, and subscribe if you are interested in more fantasy basketball content all season long, as I'm going to be dropping 2 to 3 videos a week. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.